Coming up, Basic Med is here, and we have everything to make sure you're fit to fly beginning May 1st.
How you can visit a place few people or pilots ever get to off the coast of California. This is a flying car?
And boldly go where no glider has gone before. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint, and you're flying at SonicsAircraft.com.
The forms are finally available for you to go out and meet with your doctor, get signed off on your fit to fly. Get online, take the AOPA free course, then sign up for a flight review, get your ground school done. Get out there and start flying. Thanks for being aboard.
Yes, folks, it's really here. Basic Med is ready to fly May 1st. And AOPA's Fit to Fly resources are ready now to get you flying without a third-class medical.
The feds gave final approval to our online course and the necessary forms. On Monday, we put up everything you need for Basic Med on our website. And we've made it really easy to find. Just click on the blue Basic Med tab at the top of the page. That takes you to our Fit to Fly resources. So who can fly under Basic Med? Well, there's a quick interactive tool on our website for that.
But here's the short list of what you need. A current driver's license, a pilot certificate, a medical certificate that was valid sometime within the decade between July 2006 and July 15th, 2016. Your medical was never denied, suspended, or revoked. You don't have disqualifying conditions. Okay, so you're eligible for a Basic Med certification. What next?
Now you're ready to schedule a physical exam with your doc. Now, any state licensed physician can do the exam, but we recommend that you do it with your personal physician because he or she knows you best. And if you want to go to your AME, that's good too. First, download and fill out the Basic Med form. There's a section for you and a section for your doctor. We also have a guide for physicians that you can download and give to your doc. It explains exactly what Basic Med is and why the doc should feel comfortable in signing it.
With the Basic Med form signed by your doctor, you're now ready to take the online medical self-assessment course. You need about 40 minutes to work through it, and there is a quiz at the end, but you can retake the quiz as many times as you need to pass. And at the end, you'll type in the information from your physical exam and Basic Med course, print out the certificate, and then keep it in your logbook. Now you're certified to fly on May 1st. You'll find a video that explains all of this in much greater detail on our Fit to Fly resources. And guess what? That's it.
Well, not quite.
Oh.
Many of you who will take advantage of Basic Med haven't flown for a while. And so you're going to need a flight review, but most of us still call it a BFR.
And, you know, our executive producer, Warren Morningstar, has already been down that path. He's been a rusty pilot and has just been through the physical and all the steps. So, Warren, how tough was it?
Well, you know, Tom, I haven't acted as PIC in about 6 years, so I was concerned that I was a bit oxidized, if you will.
Yeah.
But it really was surprisingly easy.
Now, the feds say a flight review has both a ground and flying portion, each about an hour. The ground portion should include a review of the current general operating flight rules of Part 91. Now, this is not something to stress over.
It's not a test, so the good part about it is just taking lessons and reviewing with your instructor until both of you feel confident that you're good to go again and, you know, that everything's going to go well.
Now, the best way to get a thorough ground review is an AOPA Rusty Pilot seminar.
And I want to welcome you guys all here to Rusty Pilots. We're really excited to have you here.
Now, we'll have hundreds of them across the country this year. It's about 3 hours and covers everything that has changed or that you might have forgotten since you last flew.
The cool thing about the Rusty Pilot seminar is that it really it does two things. It gets you back out so you can actually see the school. You get a little bit of experience with the school without necessarily having to commit. You can get a really good feel. Do I like the instructors who are there, the people? Was the atmosphere nice? How do I like their airplanes? Because it's likely that a school will have the airplanes so you can go see them. Plus you can meet some of the instructors, talk to a few, and perhaps even pick one that you'd like to schedule with. The second part is it helps you to re-engage with the pilot community.
At the end, you'll get a sign-off for the ground portion of your flight review. You get some really handy review materials, and Rusty Pilot seminars are free for AOPA members.
And then my plan is basically to just take you through and just see what you recall, because it's been, you said 6 years since you were PIC, I know you told me. So we'll see what you recall.
Now, there wasn't a seminar near me when I had time for a review, so I did the next best thing. Scheduled time with Chris Mosier, the guy who created the Rusty Pilot seminars.
What would be another publication we could also look at if we didn't have that with us? Because we don't print that much anymore.
The facility, airport facility director.
And of course, remember the new name.
No.
Is the chart supplement.
Chart supplement, okay.
It now meets ICAO standards.
And Chris is very thorough, and that's good, of course.
Oh, hey, Alyssa. Good to see you.
You too.
You ready to deal with an old rusty, crusty pilot?
Of course. You're going to find you're not as rusty as you think anyway.
Now for the flying portion with CFI Alyssa Miller. We do the standard stuff. Steep turns, stalls.
Yes, your text. And you have the controls.
Unusual attitude recovery, and landings. And I managed to get pretty lucky and stick just about everything.
Hey, well, that was fun, Alyssa.
You did a great job, Warren.
Oh, well, thank you. You know.
Yeah, you weren't rusty a bit. Your maneuvers, everything, they were within the ACS now, the Airman Certification Standard. And just like we were talking about in the air, you know, whether it was the training you had at your private pilot or the certificates that you got along the way and all of your many hours that you've built up, that even after some time away in the airplane, you step right back into it.
All right, so yeah, we just proved it. Even if you've been out for a while, you can still get back in. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
It's a heck of a lot of fun.
I was going to say, it wasn't that painful either.
No.
And with that, I'm good to go on Monday. And guys, you can bet I've got an aircraft reserved.
Good for you. We'll look forward to seeing you back there. But, you know, we've had some questions from members concerned about whether or not their doctor will be willing to sign off on the form. What was your experience?
Well, you know, I've known my doc for about 20 years, and we know each other pretty well. So what I did was I took the form and the physician's guide that you can download from our website and dropped it off in his office a couple of days before my physical was scheduled. I came in, he did the physical, and at the end of it, he was happy to sign off. Now, I'm an example of one, but I have heard that there are other doctors too. So if you can't find a doctor, if your own doctor isn't willing to sign off, it's going to be pretty easy to find one who will.
So Warren, was there anything about the process you found difficult?
You know, not really. It was I was surprised at how quickly everything comes back, and it was really pretty painless. And I did ask Chris about what kinds of things that pilots do seem to be rusty on, or what they're concerned about. In what areas do rusty pilots seem to think that they're weak?
So think that they're weak is the key thing. I think they think that they're weak when it comes to flying, like thinking about landings or flying the airplanes, although that seems to actually be the part that comes back the most, if it even really went away at all. The places where they actually do tend to feel weak or need some refresher is the ground stuff, just like we're going to be doing today. So it's usually the ground stuff just because you're not thinking about airspace and radio communications and all those sorts of things. But just with some study, you'll see that a lot of it, you'll be like, oh, I remember that. So it'll be very much a refresher.
And I talked to a bunch of CFIs, and they all said pretty much the same thing. It all comes back pretty quickly, and you really don't forget how to fly.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, Warren. We'll look forward to seeing you back in the cockpit.
It's going to be fun.
Congress gave us Basic Med, but now the question is, will they give the government money? As we record this, the federal government is scheduled to run out of money on Friday. Congress has to pass some kind of budget before then, most likely a continuing resolution, or CR, that essentially keeps spending at its current level. But even if the government shuts down Friday, essential services like air traffic control and flight service will continue to operate.
And there are a whole flock of new aircraft types slated to operate in the airspace system, and a surprising number of them coming out of Silicon Valley. The all-electric Kitty Hawk Flyer is backed by Larry Page of Google. They call it a flying car, but it looks like an oversized drone with pontoons. This is a prototype. They say the production model will look different and be quieter. For now, the FAA calls this an ultralight. No license necessary. And here's another variant on the flying car, this one out of Germany. The all-electric Lilium Jet prototype just flew its first successful test flight with a pilot operating the controls safely on the ground. 36 motors and fans are buried in the wing and canard. The canard and wing fans rotate to translate from vertical to forward flight. William views this as an Uber-like on-demand air taxi, and they claim a 160-mile range at 160 knots. So, cue the Jetsons music.
Exactly, love the Jetsons.
That's right. George Jetson and
Jane, his wife.
Elroy, the son, all that sort of thing.
Daughter Judy, yeah. Obviously, we're from the same era.
Why do we remember this stuff? Why is our brain being cluttered with all this kind of useless information?
Clearly had an impact on us. And an electric airplane that really looks like an airplane. Solar Impulse co-founder and pilot Andre Borschberg is now working with a company testing an electric-powered single-engine aerobatic airplane. It features an elliptical wing like a Spitfire. They say this demonstrator can fly for about an hour. The company H55 will focus on the continued development of electric-powered for aircraft.
And now, no matter what's in the nose, it's important to check the controls before flying. The AOPA Air Safety Institute has a new video on boxing the controls, a method to determine that your controls are free and correct throughout the full range of travel. This is the first in a series of short ASI video tips, and you can find it, well, you know where, on our websites. And when we come back, the best eats on or near the airports.
And getting high on wind power alone. AOPA Live this week continues right after this.
Did you know it's now fully legal to fly your plane to Cuba? Call the experts at Cuba Handling and we'll walk you through the process. Our team will make your flight simple and will create the experience of a lifetime. From hotels to cultural experiences, we do it all. Visit CubaHandling.com.
Welcome back. Time is running out for teens to apply for the AOPA You Can Fly High School Flight Training Scholarships. We have 20 scholarships of $5,000 each, and they'll be awarded to worthy high school students. It can be a life-changing windfall. And we caught up with some of last year's winners at Sun and Fun.
I was overjoyed because this has always been my dream to fly, and it just made it possible for me.
Right now, my flight training, I've gone through, I've soloed, I've done my solo cross-country hours and everything, and I'm basically in the last third of my pilot training right now, just studying for my oral check ride and getting ready for that.
The application deadline for this year's scholarship is May 19th. You can find all the information on how to apply on our websites.
Light sport manufacturer Remos AG and glider builder STEMI AG have merged. The companies will keep the STEMI name. STEMI builds high-performance motor gliders. Remos builds light sport aircraft, the newest being the GX-IS, which is featured in the May issue of AOPA Pilot magazine. And speaking of gliders, the Airbus Perlin 2 glider just reached another milestone on its journey to the edge of space. The goal of the project is to explore the stratosphere, climbing to 90,000 feet. AOPA online editor Jim Moore had a chance to talk to Perlin chief pilot Jim Payne.
I understand that it's just been a few days now since you expanded the envelope, taking your glider above 30,000 feet. Tell me about that.
On Saturday, we had a nice mountain wave here at Minden, so we towed off about 9:30 and climbed in the mountain wave to 30,000 feet.
That's an extraordinary altitude for a glider. How do things change when you get up that high? Do you have to limit bank angles? Do you have to take precautions to avoid a stall, that sort of thing?
Actually, the Perlin is designed to go to high altitude. The flying qualities are not significantly different as you climb. The biggest change as you climb is the true airspeed goes up for any value of indicated airspeed that you have.
When you're climbing, is there do you get turbulence? Is there a sense? What's the kind of the kinesthetic sense of this?
The mountain wave is extremely laminar in the lifting zone. Within the rotor zone, it's the most turbulent area you can imagine. So it's a matter of understanding the wave structure.
How long does it take to make that climb?
It depends completely on the strength of the wave. On an extremely good wave, I've seen almost 3,000 feet a minute.
And tell me just a little bit about the scientific payoff of this.
Well, the biggest thing will be understanding of the meteorological phenomenon that are occurring in the polar vortex. By climbing in a mountain wave, we'll be able to define the profile of the wave. We'll actually prove that they go to the high altitudes like the meteorologists predict. The current altitude record for gliders is just short of 51,000 feet. So any flight above 51,000 feet is charting new territory in sailplanes. But we're looking forward to it.
The Perlin 2 will be heading back to Argentina this summer to attempt higher altitude flights. Read more about the Perlin 2 on our website.
Pretty cool stuff. The AOPA Camarillo Fly-In presented by California Aeronautical University is this weekend. Thousands are expected to flock to Ventura County just north of LA for the event. And while the AOPA fly-in will draw a crowd for sure, the Waypoint Cafe helped put the airport on the map. Pilot and professional comedian BJ Lang takes a very special look at the iconic eatery.
The Waypoint Cafe is famous.
Waypoint Cafe's been here for 26 years. It's gotten real popular in the last 7. We're very busy all the time.
And it's easy to see why. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's fire, there's the Waypoint Cafe's famous tri-tip.
The tri-tip sandwich is our most popular.
You can also get it on a salad. Don't forget to wash that salad down with one of their famous milkshakes. They're made by hand, super Hey, wait a second. You just had a salad! But the best part of the cafe might be outside. The aircraft viewing area is complete with a miniature airport for the kids.
The actual runway of the airport, down to size for the kids. So we get the kids out here, they're playing airplane.
What do you mean kids?
I'm practicing my departure, but I picked up too much fuel by eating all that barbecue.
I may be over max gross from all that tri-tip, but no matter how you slice it, the viewing area is a slice of heaven.
We wanted to create a public viewing area for the airport where non-pilots can come out and enjoy what we have here to offer at Camarillo Airport.
So there's lots of things to see here at the Waypoint Cafe viewing area, but I'll show you my favorite view. Oh, now that is a view. BJ Lang, AOPA Live.
Thanks, BJ. The Waypoint will be rolling out the famous tri-tip for folks who go to the fly-in this weekend. Hope to see you there.
And speaking of rolling out, we are able to roll out the welcome mat for our members thanks to the support of great hosts. The event is centered around Channel Islands Aviation. They're a flight school, Part 135 operator, and FBO on the field. But AOPA Live's Paul Harrop shows you Channel Islands Aviation is also the key to seeing their namesake.
Channel Islands Aviation started in 1976 when my parents, Mark and Janie Oberman, opened Channel Islands Aviation as the first FBO at the Camarillo Airport.
Channel Islands Aviation is still family owned and operated, and it all began with this airplane.
Yeah, most people come in up to the ramp here and see this airplane and go, what on earth is that? You know, is that a Aero Commander? No, it's not. It's actually a Britten Norman Islander.
And it's perfect to take passengers out to the Channel Islands.
This airplane is unique to us because we operate to the Channel Islands off the coast here of California, and it's meant for landing at dirt strips and grass strips and a lot of exciting stuff.
CIA is the sole provider of aviation services to the Channel Islands, but that's just one aspect of their business. They've got several aircraft on their charter certificate, including this new CJ3.
We cater to the customer who's looking to learn to fly with our flight school, so anybody who's looking to get into aviation, they can start with us.
And what a place to start. Ventura County is a beautiful place to fly, and our hosts at Channel Islands Aviation are making it a great place for a fly-in. In Camarillo, California, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Paul. You can find all the details of our fly-in on our website. So you're heading out there, aren't you, Tom?
I am heading out there, yeah, and we'll see everybody out there. Thanks for joining us, and you're not going, right?
Not this one, unfortunately.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Well, that'll do it for us this week. Remember that Monday is the first day you can fly under Basic Med if you have everything in place, so bring all your questions to Camarillo for us.
And we hope to see you back here at our place for next Thursday for another edition of AOPA Live This Week.
Instruments for professionals.